All right, joining us now is Ohio Senate candidate J.D. Vance. J.D., this Axios piece really struck me because the media are seeing this kind of globalist dream world beginning to fade away for them because more people are onto this, total charade. How do you see this playing out with this new crop of Republicans coming into the Republican Party?
Well, I think we have an incredible opportunity, Laura, to actually do something for the increasingly working and middle class base of the party. I think President Trump delivered in a big way, but as you know, he was often not aligned with his own party. And I think that if we really win the way that we should in 22 and we start to deliver results, we're going to have a Republican Party at every level that's actually aligned with its own voters. And then we're going to be unstoppable because we can accomplish on trade, on immigration, on fighting China, bringing American manufacturing jobs back, on securing the southern border. We can actually do the things that Republicans have promised to do for a long time, but have failed to do.
This new insight from the Hill tonight that Republicans are actively courting Hispanic voters in key competitive House districts, hoping to peel away voters from Democrats. The voters are likely to play a key role in at least a dozen districts in the November midterms. JD, I know you've been asking for this. I have for a long time, but it is long since time that the Republicans did the type of minority outreach with the right ideas that they're finally doing now.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And for so long, everybody told us that the way to reach the Hispanic vote was to go soft on borders. And it turns out, Laura, the exact opposite thing is true, that the more we lean into protecting the southern border, the more that we lean into giving our police officers the ability to protect our communities, the more Hispanics come to our side. I think there's this way where the establishment Republicans and also the left shared this assumption that identity politics was the way to reach out to Latinos. It turns out the way to reach out to Latinos is to be normal, not be a crazy person, and actually talk to them in a way that serves their interests and to appeal to those interests. That's simple old-fashioned politics, and the Republican Party has a huge opportunity to do that.
And the so-called Democrat populists, the ones who claim to be for the working people, we see this with the Squad and so forth, they never help the working people. Stacey Abrams, who wants to, of course, take out Brian Kemp in Georgia, it turns out that she's getting blockbuster fundraising numbers from out-of-state money, and her campaign and leadership committee have reported receiving about $7 million from Georgia donors. That's only 14% of the nearly $50 million they've combined to raise this cycle. It turns out that the plutocrats love Stacey Abrams, JD. That's interesting. What do they think they're going to get from her?
Yeah, they do. And they love Tim Ryan, my Democrat opponent in Ohio here. Look, the thing with the Democrats do, if you look at their record, they're completely aligned with big tech. They're completely aligned with big finance. They're completely aligned with the people that are destroying America's energy sector, which hurts the working and middle class more than it hurts anybody else. And you're right that these people have a ton of money from these out-of-state donors. My opponent, Tim Ryan, is got something like 90% of his money has come from outside the state of Ohio. People can go, by the way, to jdvance.com if they want to help us fight back, Laura, because this money is the one thing that could blunt a red wave. And it's not just a red wave, but it's the right kind of Republicans coming into D.C. that could actually fix the problems and fight back once and for all.
I understand that Tim Ryan is also just abusing the proxy voting that Nancy Pelosi is still, in a mind-boggling way, allowing on Capitol Hill. So no one's essential. They never have to show up and actually work on Capitol Hill. But Mr. Populist shirt sleeves guy who's going to help the regular person can't actually show up in Washington to do his job, I understand.
Yeah, and I don't know what's worse, him showing up to do his job or not showing up to do his job, Laura, because he's voted with Joe Biden 100% of the time. It is hilarious that a guy who claims to speak for working people is claiming 2 years after the pandemic that COVID prevents him from showing up and doing his job. It's ridiculous. It's a farce. But again, that's the Democratic populists. They are all about identity politics, defunding the police. They're fakes. They're not pursuing populist issues. They just want to put on, that populist garb, raise some money, and hopefully get power so that they can continue to serve the American oligarchy instead of the American people.
Yeah, a vote for Tim Ryan is a vote to keep Nancy Pelosi as Speaker and Chuck Schumer, frankly, a Senate Majority Leader. The whole gang will be back in town. JD, great to see you. Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.